Good afternoon, viewers. My name is Peggy, and I'm your trainer today for IFL's AMA Ask Me Anything segment for the topic on financial planning for couples. So for those who are not familiar with us, IFL stands for the Institute for Financial Literacy. It is a collaboration between MoneySense, the National Financial Education Program, and Singapore Polytechnic International. Essentially, we are the outreach arm of MoneySense, and we conduct free and unbiased financial education programs for the public. So this is just our standard disclaimer. Well, the most important thing is that all that we are mentioning is good general advice. However, if you are making a decision to invest or buy any insurance, please do your own due diligence, right? Or consult a licensed financial advisor, right? All our situations are a bit different, so this is most advisable. And now we are coming into this topic of financial planning for couples. Well, this is practically the season that brings up a lot of excitement. Probably the engagement proposal is the first step. And from what I read nowadays, it can become very fancy. Have you discussed and planned your goals together? And who will make the major financial decisions, as well as have you thought about how you're going to accommodate different views on spending and choices? So well, let's start off with a question. All right, so this is for you to think about. How much do you need for your wedding? Is it A, less than 10,000, B, between 10 to 50,000, or C, more than 50,000? I'm just going to pause for a little while, for you to do your own calculations. Okay, so this is a very, subjective thing. It is not one answer that, that solves all. However, we do see articles, that appear in the papers now and then. Now, back in 2016, there was a couple who spent heavily on their wedding, even up to $110,000. Now, that almost up and ended their wedding. It took many years to pay off. I'm not quite sure how many squabbles and how many quarrels, that had resulted in. So again, it is, a proportion of the income. And in this case, it was nearly the breaking point. So how do we avoid things like this? So one of things that we do is to give simple tips at IFL, and here are the following for planning a wedding. Do discuss your wedding expectations, set up a budget, and follow it closely. Now, there will be many different costs and items that you will need to list out, and there's a lot of work and time spent making those comparisons before you make that decision. And a really big tip here is avoid borrowing to pay for wedding expenses. This is probably something that you will want to save up before the really big and important loans come in, for instance, the home loan and the renovation loan. And if you do use your credit cards, for the wedding dinner, for the wedding shoot, just remember to pay your bills in full and on time. So this is the one that you have saved up, and you are going to chalk up points so that you can enjoy further discounts. All right. What else do we have? Now, getting married is one part, and I know that many will sort of think in so that when you get the keys to your home, it's time, to ring the wedding bells. Yeah, so but you will have to decide on what matters most, and you will need to assess your financial situation. Now, a new home is something that many couples really look forward to, and this is something which is really, really costly. So you will have to consider your budget. Again, you will have to know all the various expenses that go into buying a flat. And I'm quite sure many of you will be looking out for the available grants. Do check out the type of loans and eligibility, and do find out ways to manage your housing loan and save on payments. This can be a really big savings, especially if you're able to manage, paying off the interest, early on, right? And well, a home is your home if you were to make it your own. And this comes in with the home renovation, the fittings, and the furniture. So again, this is another project. There are lots of ideas out there, but you can only pick on one for your renovation. So you will decide on your renovation needs and prioritize them. There are lots of good articles out there that help you plan it. And I think the most important is to have a budget, but also have a buffer, right? Because a renovation project, not many of us do it all the time. Things do go a little off. So do have an extra buffer for your renovation project. Of course, again, you will need to compare costs before making decisions and understand, what is involved in the purchase, the terms and conditions. All right, so do your due diligence, research the cost of renovation loans as well before taking up the loan. Now that you have the wedding and your home is already cozy. Now this is a lifetime together of managing your finances as a couple. I think even way before that, you will probably have observed each other's spending habits, and you are going to perhaps through this stage of your lives, being able to enter into your financial commitments, especially for the housing loan. There will be other things that will come up. Perhaps it's about the children. Perhaps it's all the shared expenses. So do draw up a budget to track your expenses. Discuss how you will share those responsibilities. And of course, you will need to work towards achieving these goals. Some of you may be a more macro level planner. Some of you may be a more micro level planner. Whatever it is, you should learn how to complement one another. And very important, please set up an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of your expenses. You will never know what's up ahead, so it's better to be prepared. Besides that, do remember to add in the protection element into your couplehood. So understand the different types of insurance. There are insurance for needs and there are insurance for wants. So you need to be able to tell them apart. And very importantly, again, do assess your insurance needs. What your friends have may not be what you need. So you will need to go through each of the scenarios and look at, from the family perspective, how, the monies will come in and be able to smoothen out, that adversity. So compare different kinds of insurance products and do remember to review your policies regularly, at least once a year. And by the time you are ready to transit into another life stage, you will be more at ease in learning how to balance your insurance portfolio. So we also have set up 4 very simple steps. Of course, there is quite a lot to do in each of these, but this is sort of like the framework. Okay, so step 1, you're going to set your financial goals. So they should be SMART, smart, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. Okay, and assess your financial fitness, find out how healthy you are right now in terms of finances, and then work out, that plan, implement it, and sit back, monitor, review your financial plan. All right. So we are coming to this segment. Thank you for your questions that you have added to Slido. This is the Ask Me Anything segment. So I'm ready for your questions. Okay, first off, for couples who have just started dating, what should we look out or start planning for? Well, you have just started dating, right? It's quite early into the picture. So I wouldn't say you would have to start planning for anything. Um, well, but I think it's important, to look out for the spending habits of the other. It is through this observation that you will learn a lot of things, because many of our life's attitudes, are perhaps demonstrated through the way we manage monies. So this is something, that can tell you much more about the other person that you are dating. So this is what I would suggest, right? Look out for their money habits. And then next question, from experience, what are the areas of dispute between couples during financial planning? Okay, so I would say that even that is even after you've gotten together, you are now an item. It doesn't mean that you don't have your own room for your privacy in terms of what you do with money. So I think this is where we have to learn, all right, to have both a shared space as well as a me space, right, when it comes to spending. So one of the areas, right, could be that one of the parties could feel that there is sort of an invasion of privacy, right? So that's one area of dispute. And the other is actually about debts. So you have the shared, debts, but you may also have the personal ones. And when you are actually sinking a lot of money to pay off your own personal debts, it could affect the shared debt. Okay, so that could be an area of dispute. So that also needs to be planned out and limits to be set in terms of how much you should set aside to pay off loans or your own personal loans every month. The next area of dispute could be that would be on the shared expenses, right? So it's always a tussle. It's almost like a power game, right, between what is a need and what is a want, and who is going to, decide. So this has to be sensitively addressed. Perhaps at this point of time, you don't know everything about the other person. So it's good, to open these up and to ask the other party why do they think that it is important. Give each other space to explain what has made you decide on that purchase. All right, and discuss that as matured people do. Okay, so that's another area. And I think perhaps, one of the not so, obvious ones would be the extended family. So not only did you get married, you married into the family. And as they say in Chinese, every family has a very hard to read, Bible. So 家家有本难念的经. So it means that whatever are the financial commitments, that your other half, has brought in, you will also be encountering as well. All right. So these are generally the disputes. So next, how should couples budget their money target? I'm already tracking my own expenses. Not sure how I should manage my hubby's finances target also. Okay. All right. So this means that perhaps, right, from the sound of this, you probably have already asked your husband, and maybe your husband's style of tracking finances is not exactly the same as yours. So maybe what you can do is to ask him, if he could, show you, or you could, show him how you do it, and then he does it, and he shows you how it's done. Because I think what we want to encourage is personal responsibility. However, if your husband is completely open to having you, manage, set targets, and he is quite compliant on those, just go ahead. Whatever that you find as a couple, you are able to make things work. You should try that. Okay. So I'm moving on to the next question. If money is the cause of marital tensions, how do you deal with that? And what is your advice? Now, I think there's more than just money. There could be many areas, right, that can cause marital tensions. And key to all this is actually communication, right? Yes, there's going to be friction. There are things that will not go the way you plan, but your other half is just as important as you, and you will need to, find out what is, sort of in the iceberg theory, what's actually happening under the surface, right? How they think, how they feel. It's not just about money, it's also about, other relationships, in the family. So, do see if you can find a counselor, all right, who can help to, smoothen, right, the flow of conversations, open up channels that are blocked, right, and to remove all these, tensions so that good communication can flow, right? So next question. People say husband is the head of the household. If wife and husband disagree, who should have the last say? And you are a working mom. Okay, thank you for that piece of information, because it would be quite a different dynamic, right? If there is just a single breadwinner and it is the husband. So I would say that I can't be the judge, right, of who has the last say, but I always believe that as you communicate the needs in the household, the husband is to hear out the wife just as much as the wife is supposed to hear out the husband, right? So there is a need, to compromise and finally move on, right, to the decision. So it has to be resolved, but in a way where there is respect for each other's opinions. All right. Okay, so next off, my fiance and I plan to get married. We plan to apply for a BTO. But because of budget, we plan to stay with in-law first. Then the next question is, should we rent outside instead? Okay, so well, if you plan to apply for a BTO, so this means that you probably have about 3 to 4 years in waiting. So I believe the question is, would it be possible, to stay with the in-laws, for this period of time, and not have the sort of much feared tensions, right? That you read so much about with the in-laws. Now, so it's a matter of budget. So you know how much are the rentals nowadays. So it's a question of whether you're renting a room or you are renting the whole house. So you have to work out the budget, and remember, it is not just over a few short months. It could be over years. So you will need to see how this is going to impact you in terms of, your finances for the flat, your finances for the wedding, the renovations, and all the big ticket items. So do your sums first, okay? So this is my advice for you. Next question. We have 2 kids. I'm currently out of a job. Oh, and family savings are running low. What can we do? So I think first off, perhaps the fastest thing that you can do is to try and work out how long more, right? The savings are going to last, and at least be more prepared to cut down on some of the unnecessary items. I know that it is easier said than done. However, you'll be needing to work out these adjustments quite quickly. And of course, while you are, adjusting, your expenses, perhaps, it is good to look out and see if there are other, help that you can get from, your family members. Perhaps, they'll be able to, lend you a sum of money while you are, scrambling to look for a job. So all this is still possible because then you don't have, the burden of personal debt, on you, and you can sort of pay back, over a longer period of time. So also look out, right? Look out, for some of these areas, where you can save up, in terms of your expense. There are insurance where you can take a premium holiday, right? So look out for various of these expenses, that you can cut down on. Okay. So happy, oh yes, happy Chinese New Year to you. Should we keep our own ang pao money or put together as family savings? Okay, so I'm assuming that it is your hubby and yourself. Well, it could be that you could think of a particular short-term goal that you can use to enjoy your ang pao money together. So it could be a part of a vacation. So this is a motivation, right, for you to save together. So ang pao money is also something that if it is substantial, right, it can be nice, to get something that both of you want really badly. Okay, so I think that's a good idea. Is there any method that allows a couple to ensure that they have enough financial means to achieve joint financial goals, housing, etc., and meeting their personal goals? Well, we discussed, those um, uh, uh, tips, and we also gave that, 4 steps, right, to work on as a couple. I think these are, the basic principles, that IFL always fall back on. So to be able to achieve your financial goals simply means that you will have to, set up those SMART goals. And not only that, you will have to track and budget, how you are going to get there. And also, you will have to figure out, what are the ways for you to be able to save first, right? Before you spend. So these are your very simple steps, but very powerful steps, right? So once you are able to have that discipline of managing your personal finances well, you will find that you will gradually be able to get there. Yeah, no matter how big these goals are. Okay, so moving along, what are some approaches? Budget a portion of savings besides household expenses for spouse to cater for the medical cost needs of their parents. Oh, okay. Yes, yes. So, well, one of the things that I may suggest here is keep the receipts, right, of the, I assume that these are perhaps a situation where there's a chronic kind of illness and there are regular sort of, medical treatments, visitations, to the clinic or the specialist. So, keep, the receipts so that it helps you, to formulate that budget. And then this is where you will have to decide, you have to look at your spending and because that becomes a need, right? So, you will have to prioritize this above other kinds of expenses. Of course, it would be very useful if you were to approach the clinic and ask, if there is any other subsidy that you are able to get access to. So that's, whether it is, through cash or through your MediSave. So this is, ways, to try and manage the medical costs. Also, I think it's important to look at the insurance portion, right, to see that it matches with the preferred, ward. So it's always a trade-off between, comfort and cost, and see if, there is a way, to balance that. Okay. All right. So if, the parent does not need a very high cover, then, perhaps, that can be reduced in terms of, the riders or as well as, the plan, for the integrated shield plan. So do look out, for those things. Next, are there any ways to notify insurance agent or financial planner if the couple were to meet an accident overseas and are both unconscious? Okay, so there are a few things that come to mind, but I think one thing that we do practice is that when we are overseas and we will place in our wallets, the name and contact number of the person that that is back here in our home country in Singapore. So that should anything happen, they will be contacted, right? So I think that is actually a very important question. Not many people think about that. And of course, before you go off, on your holiday, those persons, who are supposed to be contacted will remain, vigilant as well, right? For anyone to contact them. And subsequently, this person will then be able to get to notify the insurance agent. So it's a series of it's a network of contacts so that help will come to you, even though you have met with an unfortunate accident overseas. All right. So next question: what are some needs that a couple should budget for? Children's education, house insurance, and how do you prioritize it? anything that is often missed out, perhaps certain renovation costs. Wow, I think the person who asked this is very detailed. You've probably, gotten all the big pieces there, and definitely, you didn't miss that out. That's insurance there. What else? I suppose, having a child, I'm not sure, just the cost, of giving birth, of maternity and all that. There's this also another big item there. So do, look out. You can read up articles on that. You can go to MOH and you can pull out, what are the estimated costs for different types of deliveries. Yeah, and of course, don't miss our, our education programs, right, on starting a family. So all those, is packed in there. Next question, how to budget if a couple intends to get a car? Car insurance, parking fees, any estimated budget for reference. Okay, so having a car again, is like getting married, is like having a baby. So there are many items that you will need to consider, whether it is going to be a new car or it is going to be something that you're buying secondhand. There are many of these that you will need to go through. So there are good articles again, right, that bring you through each of these considerations. And how do you budget? Now, there is a point where I believe you may be getting a loan. So do remember to set a limit, to that loan budget. It should not, take up more than 15% of your take-home pay, right, per month, to pay off, the loan for the car. Try, to sort of get that right, and you will not feel overly burdened, okay, when you are getting a car. How to calculate if a BTO is affordable based on a couple's earning, and how to buffer in case spouse is retrenched, is ownership 50-50 if each contribute or different amounts. Okay, all right. So to calculate whether BTO is affordable, that's a huge question. The simple way of going about it, is, look out for the grants, find out how much is in your CPF, what is in your cash, and please remember, there are, important fees, right, that come into the picture. So, please buffer for that. Now, the second part is how do you buffer in case the spouse is retrenched? Well, one of the ways is actually to budget the BTO as if only one person is paying for it. So if there is twin engines, this means that you get to pay it off faster. So that's the bonus. But if you are planning, to manage the risk in such a scenario, it's useful, to budget for a BTO that one you can pay off with one salary. Okay, so then the next question is the ownership 50-50. So it depends on whether you opt for joint tenancy or tenancy in common. Most couples by default owns the flat by joint tenancy. So this means that should one pass away, the right of survivorship falls straight to the other. So it's 100%. Both of them own it, as if it's one. Okay. So if in the joint tenancy situation, even if each were to contribute different amounts, this would be the result of it. Okay. So that is in the event of premature death. Yeah. So what are the financial considerations if there is a special needs child? Okay, so there are many, all right, financial considerations, but I think most importantly, it is, to look at, when the child, has come to a certain point, and see whether, what is the maturity of the child, how many things can they do independently. That will help you to, set aside sufficient for the child for the rest, perhaps of their lives. There may be some, dependencies, or it could be, that the special needs child is on the severe side of the spectrum, and they will need, the full support, as well as, they are entirely financially dependent on, what you have going to leave behind for the child. Yeah, so there are agencies that can help you with the planning. So I may just direct you to the Special Needs Trust Company, right? So they can do some of this financial planning work ahead for you, so that you can pace yourself and plan out what is needed at the right time. Okay, so next question. What are the considerations when budgeting for a wedding and honeymoon? So first consideration, don't go overboard. Okay, it's probably the most fun part of the marriage, and of course it deserves memorable footage, pictures, venues, locations, costumes, makeup, all of it that goes into it. But this is where you need to be very, very prudent. Okay. Again, do not try not right to borrow for the wedding and for the honeymoon. Save up for them, and do enjoy having your friends or family provide some of these services for you. Say for instance, someone is happy to sponsor the flowers, go ahead. If someone can do a great job with photography, I think it's so great to add elements of friends into the picture, because it does make the wedding so much more meaningful. Yeah, so just don't go overboard. Okay, so next question. What are some useful ways to teach a child about money? Wow, okay. So we have entered, into what to teach the children about money. So the parents are already well on their way. So do tune in to our programs, Money Sense for your child. It takes them through ages 3 to 16, right? So the pre-primary age, the primary school age, and the secondary school age. So at different stages, as a child learns about money and their decisions, I think will always be challenged by what their peers do, what they see as advertisements. So do join us for those talks. I think there's a lot more that's in the content that I can share with you right now. Okay, so I'm going to the next question. How should stay-at-home moms plan finances if they have active income? Oh, okay. Well, if that is not having active income, that's not an issue. I think most importantly, because you are receiving a part of the income from perhaps your husband, the sole breadwinner, you should plan using that amount of money. You should, of course, prioritize your goals. One of them is probably about, during retirement, is there a sum that you would like, set up for yourself? I will always do that as a priority over and above the children's education, because there are actually many ways, for the children to finance their education. And then usually after that, we fall into this, goal of, helping your children to be educated and have a set of skills, so that they can be employable, or they can start up their own businesses. So do have goals, do prioritize them, and budget in the same way, have an actionable goal. Yeah. So and of course, very importantly, you can also join us for financial planning for women. Okay, so that is another event and program that you can look out for to join us, for more tips there. And what are some effective ways to curb spending by a spouse? Oh gosh. Okay, right. So you have realized that your spouse is probably overspending. So I think first of all, open communication about how that is going to perhaps impact the finances or derail some of the goals. And I think the most effective way is actually to set up a form of tracking, as well as setting limits, which is the budgeting. And in fact, you may not need to track everything if you know what the main problem is. All right, so there's probably just one or two things that the spouse needs to be more aware of, and if he is cooperative, it's just about having that 4 eyes principle. So someone will sort of look over the shoulder and just check. And we don't want to be naggy, and we don't want to prod. We want them to have that personal responsibility of being able to spend within that agreed limit, right? So so it's about posing it from one mature person to another. And and because it's a couplehood, we want to sort of encourage this change in the habit. Okay, so there is that question. Is there any way to find out legally whether the partner has personal debt before we get married? Okay. So are you going to hire a private investigator? Because no, there isn't. For you, you can't, get access to the credit bureau reports. And so it simply means that that's that's what they say. You may have to decide whether that is all that there is, based on your observation of the person's financial habits, and what are the legal means to protect yourselves from your partner's debt. Technically speaking, your partner's debt remains your partner's debt. So it is his loans. You are not responsible for them. And if he should ask you to, to help him pay up his debt, you will also have, to consider whether this has been a good lesson, and whether it through it's sometimes through the the most difficult times of a marriage where it really shines through. So you have to ask yourself whether this is something you would want to bail your partner out from. And if you're asking are there any other ways to protect yourself from a debt, right, that you have that would be affected by a personal debt. Well, that would be in terms of setting aside monies, right, that which you really want to be for yourself. Then it may be that you can either find someone that you can trust and can, entrust that money to them. Or there's another means, which is setting up a trust, but that would be quite costly, right? To set up a living trust. So again, these are different ways of planning ahead. I hope that's just off the cuff. I hope that it would be useful to you. So I would like to end it here, because I think that is all the time that we have. I'm going to move on from here. And okay, right, so that's we have just ended the Ask Me Anything segment, and I just want to promote this digital health clinic. It is something that you can set up. You can set up an appointment with us. It is a one-on-one consultation with our volunteers or trainers. Promise you there's absolutely no product pushing or no product selling. We are an education institute, so the whole objective of the clinic is to understand your financial health and to guide you to take practical steps to improve it. So, for instance, you are looking at, financial planning to build financial resilience. You're looking at insurance, investments, retirement planning. So this is a place where you can bounce off ideas with people who are neutral. So these are some comments from the participants who have gone through the digital financial health clinics. Very useful information. Thanks for explaining legacy planning to us. One of the participants also commented that this is probably one of the best unbiased help that he or she had come across. So I do encourage, even your family members, may find this useful. However, they may not be very proficient in English, so you can also indicate in that, online form what, dialect or language is preferred. Okay. So they can yes, and we also like to, bring you to our events page on our website. You can scan the QR code to look out for the other upcoming public sessions. Some of them which I, tried to introduce during the AMA. And if you have more questions, please email us at the email address you see in the screen before you, or post your questions at finlearn.sg. So Finlearn is our learning platform. So you just need to register on the platform and you can join in. There is also community learning. So this will allow learners to ask questions and join other like-minded groups, to talk about the topic, that you have, burning questions about. So here we are just introducing to you all our social media platforms. Do like and follow us, all right, at these channels. And we just want to direct you to this very lovely resource. It's called Planning Your Finances Together. You can either scan the QR code or the link is there. It is very beautifully put together by Money Sense, and I think it is perhaps one of the guides that is a must-have when you are planning your finances as a couple. So over here, you find, all the useful links that, we, gather our information, the guides, everything, that the government has, set out to offer, right, in terms of help in form of schemes. And look out, all right, for our next Ask Me Anything session. So this will be on IFL's Facebook Live on the 8th of March, 2024. It's a Wednesday, lunchtime, okay? And the topic is financial planning for women. So we are going to, talk about, what is financial planning, how women should approach the subject, and what to look out for when planning your finances. And more than that, we want your feedback. Okay, so on the left hand side of the screen, you can scan the QR code and you can, give us your feedback about this Ask Me Anything event. And we will hope, right, to be able to implement, some of that constructive feedback that you have for us. Okay, so this is the end of the Ask Me Anything segment, and we will see you again, right, in March.